Anne Cantoner with Radio France International in Paris. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, Anne. And how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for taking some time for me. Also, I wanted to tell you because I know I wasn't quite clear about whether I needed to record the interview or not. I can tell you over the phone because it's easier. Actually, we have very strict policy about how do I put it? Letting talk each side of a conflict when there is one. And I'm afraid that if I record an interview with you, I'm not going to be able to broadcast it without an official voice in Yaoundé. And since this is quite difficult to get, I think the better way to hear your position is to talk without recording the interview, and I can use the information in my voice, quoting you. But it's easier for us to broadcast information that way. Is that clear?
Yes, I've understood what you said, though it's a little bit surprising to me. I know that in the journalistic world, you can talk to the state of Cameroon and you try to reach us. If you are able to reach us and we don't have anything to say, or you are not able, or we refuse to respond to whatever issues are raised, you can go on and still carry out the position of the state of Cameroon on the grounds that you reach out and the other party either refused to talk or there was nobody there to make any comments. But it might be that Radio France International have different policies from that of BBC and CNN and other international networks. So I don't care what method you people use. If you want to talk to me, as long as I'm going to be cited or quoted exactly what I've said, there's no problem.
Sure,
so depending on how you want to do it.
Well, I thought that it would be better, to be honest, because those decisions actually are not mine, and I have to compel to it. So I have to do it this way, and since well, my guess is it's quite important to hear you and your position, and I think it's better to hear you through my voice that don't hear you at all. But I understand it can be disturbing, but it's quite difficult, and we are in a delicate position in Cameroon, so I think it's better to do it this way.
I understand that, because you might record me, and if you are not able to get the Cameroonian position, then the interview will not go anywhere. That is what you are trying to say. So you will not be able to use it because Cameroon might just refuse to be silent. So I get that. That is the policy of RFE. So there's no problem with me. So as I said, as long as it's going to be, if you are quoting me, that is okay. That is fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is there absolutely no problem. And maybe some other time, if I know I can get the Cameroonian government in Yaoundé, and I'm sure that we can hear both sides, I can do it. But today I'm really not sure about that, so I think it's better to do it this way. Well, thank you for being, so understanding. And actually I was calling you because I'm preparing a report for tomorrow, given that the occasion is the beginning of a new year, and the International Crisis Group quoted the conflict in the Anglophone region and Amazonian region in Cameroon as a conflict that should be, that one of the most important for the coming year. So I wanted to know, first of all, how is the situation for you, for your group, and also your ambition for the coming year?
Yeah, that's a broad-based question, but thank you for asking that. I'm glad that you said the ICJ has cited the situation in my homeland and what is affecting my people as a pivotal crisis that might affect international relations for the year 2019. I hope that is taken seriously, not just what is written down. Now, the situation is bleak, as you know, as a journalist. You know what is happening back in my homeland. The situation is bleak because we have not received enough media coverage like what has been going on in Syria and other places, and even in Palestinian territories. Unfortunately, that is how international diplomacy works. If you don't have absolute mass casualty with bombs raining down from the skies, people don't really take things seriously. But for us, it is extremely serious. It is not what we expected for our people. We do not expect that our daughters and sons and our junior brothers and sisters will not be able to go to school for 2 years. We do not expect that our grandmoms, our dads, our fathers, our entire families will be living and sharing the same domicile with mosquitoes and snakes and wild animals in the bushes because they need to hide for safety. We do not expect that at this particular stage we will still be compelled to carry up arms to fight a regime that has not recognized us as human beings, that have decided to slaughter our people, and yet the rest of the world is watching. But this is exactly what has been our fate for so many years now, and it just spiraled in 2006, 2017. It is what has been ongoing for long. If you are used to Blaise Pascal Tala, who used to run Jeune Afrique Economy from Paris there, you would have read articles about me when I was arrested in 1997 because of this same situation, and people were killed. The son of a Dio was burnt in the house. Gendarmes died, civilians were slaughtered. So many of us were picked up and were randomly tortured, brutally tortured and jailed. So it's an ongoing situation which, I'm sorry to say, because of France's policies in Africa, in French Africa, the state of La République du Cameroun did not have any pressure on them to find a way to resolve this issue, because they are always thinking that no matter what happens, France will always be there to give them coverage. Maybe they will use the cooperation agreement of the 40s to give them coverage back up. So they have never on their own look at us like, oh, these are part and parcel of our land, we should find a means to solve this problem. No, they don't care about us. All what they care is
about that. Do you think that things would have been different if another candidate had won the presidential election in October?
Frankly speaking, I don't think so. I don't think Kamto would have been different from Paul Biya. It is the same like you have the socialists in the socialists taking over power in Palais de l'Élysée, or you have the conservative taking power. It doesn't change between Valéry Giscard d'Estaing or Jacques Chirac or whosoever. It is France's policies in Africa. So whether it was Kamto, if Kamto even won the election and was allowed to be declared the winner, it means France have chosen Kamto over the Cameroonian people. So it doesn't matter who wins the election. Even if it was John Frundi today, it would be the same policy. Let me put it this way: the way French Africa the way the policies in French Africa are constructed, are built, is in such a way that even if you take Karl Wojtyla, the late John Paul II, and make him the president of La République du Cameroun, he will become one of the most evil people on earth. People will not like him because of the policies that are there. The policies are not meant to benefit the people, the nationals of Cameroon or the southern Cameroon. The policies are meant to benefit France and to benefit other external powers who do not care about us. We will not have reached this level.
So what do you expect from 2019?
I am expecting more bloodshed. I've just received a wired information that France have taken a vow that they would rather see a 10th region in Cameroon for the sake of not allowing the southern Cameroons to achieve even what we are not looking for. That is a two-state federation. That they are scared of federation, that because they think, in quote, the Anglophones will definitely pass over their economic prowess to Anglo-Saxon countries like Britain and others. That is the fear of France. France is no more concerned about the killing of Southern Cameroonians and even the troops from La République du Cameroon who are dying in their numbers in our land. France is not concerned about the humanity of the people in Cameroon and the Southern Cameroons. I am saying this, and I'm very serious, that until French citizens, I'm not talking of French government, until French citizens, whom I know are very good people, have to rise up against their own system, which will mean that they will be doing something that is going to affect their own bottom line. Because without Africa, without what is happening in our homeland, things would have changed. France have every reason. There are beautiful policies in France. France is having the rule of law. Somebody wins an election, somebody does not stay in power for more than the period of time. But France will not want that in Africa. They will not want that in Africa. So it's a problem. So it is not whether Kanto won the election or somebody else. If Kanto was declared president, it means France have said, yes, you become the new prophet. So that is the situation. In 2019, I can assure you, I am seeing more bloodshed in the horizon. Because the world should stop paying lip service to this issue. If they will take it serious, as the ICJ has said, and the international media will make it a habit to go down to our homeland and do what we call thorough investigative journalism, to talk about the things that are happening, the atrocities, even on both sides, as they say that our own people are committing atrocities. I will keep saying that they are not doing that. But people need to go down and find out the mass graves and the rest, and expose this to humanity. We do not want a situation where they will do all of these things, and then some French soldiers will come tomorrow and say, oh yeah, like what happened during the UPC period. We are trying to avoid that.
About the atrocities you were talking about, you said that even on your side, some atrocities have been committed. What do you do about that?
No, I am not saying that some atrocities have been committed on my side. I'm saying that
I thought you said that.
No. I'm saying that we are being accused also. When they accuse the state of Cameroon, others will say that even separatists too have carried out atrocities. I am not on the ground. I am not on the ground. But I am saying that investigations have to be done on both sides. Because for example,
I have some testimonies saying that even from the fighters, Ambazonian fighters, there had been some atrocities committed. So I was wondering if you had a special process to monitor this and try to get into it. And because I'm telling you what I heard from the ground is that mostly your fight is supported by the population, but it's less and less supported because of these atrocities, because of kidnappings, because of ransoms and everything. So I was wondering if this was something that you care about and something that you want to change, so you can keep this popularity and the support of the inhabitants.
Thank you very much for that question. First, let me make this very clear. If you do your investigation, you follow my audios and my videos in particular for more than 2 years now, you will hear me sounding the note of the respect of the 1951 Geneva Conventions, which have to do with the prosecution of war. I have emphasized on that time and time again. And I've emphasized on that, and I'm serious about that. I'm serious about that because I do not believe in things like torture. I have suffered torture. Torture does not bring the truth. Torture will make you to say anything in order to save your physical body. So I do not believe in torture. Those our fighters of SOCADEF, the Southern Cameroon Defense Forces, we have advised them, and we have liaised. If you can find out, I have been in touch with the International Committee of the Red Cross in the Central African region. They have contacted me, and I've actually asked them to carry out some training of our boys in the field. It has not been easy because of the nature the fight has been taken, and the ICRC cannot just move into a war zone like that with all the risk, because there are other armed groups. I've been discussing with them on going to the field and helping our boys understand the necessity to respect international conventions, because I know that they are not well trained. Well-trained soldiers commit atrocities. Whether they are US forces, they are French forces, they go to Iraq, they go to Afghanistan. They do things they are not supposed to do, though they have gone to military academy and they have been warned about that. But you find you find a lot of young men and women who have not gone to any military training, who have not been used to a gun, who have been compelled to carry a gun to defend themselves and to defend their fellow citizens, and who do not even understand some of the laws, the laws of wars. And there are times that you would think that they will go out of bounds and do things which are not normal. But we are doing whatever it takes to mitigate it. We have evidence, like as I said, that I have been communicating with the ICRC. Like when the World Food Program says they're coming to our area, I've talked to them. And I've told them that we will provide them security as long as they don't move into the area without us knowing. So I cannot sit there and tell you that, oh, some of our forces have not like beaten up some civilians, or some have not got themselves into the issue of collecting money from people for ransom because they said that is the only way they can prosecute the war or buy equipments to fight. The question you should ask yourself, Anne, is how did we reach this level? If Mr. Biya had sat down and considered our humanity, that it is not because we are English speaking that we are not human enough. If he had sat down years ago and recognized our humanity, if the international community fully aware of this issue, because there are telegrams, there are evidences that Palais de l'Essai was aware of it, the White House was aware of it. In fact, most international, number 10 Downing Street was aware of these things. Every time we complain, they push it aside. They say no, it's like the same thing that the pygmies are complaining. We're reduced to an ethnic group. So had they sat down and said, listen, let's find a way to solve this problem, had they believed truly in what we call preventive diplomacy, rather than just talking about it.
What do you think about the process that was announced by the President Biya offering demobilization?
Which Mr. Biya? How do you expect Mr. Biya, who started a war, to come and offer demobilization? Look, and we have to be serious. Maybe because we are black. No,
I had to ask.
No, you have to ask. It is poison. How can you expect this man to solve a problem that he created? If the world is interested in having peace in that area and in the whole Central African region, third party should come on board. They should come on board. Cameroon cannot be the referee, the match delegate, the linesman. Then who will win that match? Cameroon will win the match. This is the problem with international diplomacy. Mr. Biya does not have any moral standing to call for disarmament. He cannot disarm Sokadev. If Sokadev is going to disarm, Dr. Akwanga will be the one who will tell Sokadev, now it's time to disarm because we think we have achieved our goals. He cannot disarm Sokadev.
About that, I was wondering how many. I don't know if you can tell me this, and maybe this can be off the record. But how many men do you have on the ground?
That's quite a very interesting question. I think I received that same question from the ICJ. And when I gave them the number of people who have on the ground, they were shouting. They said, "Oh my God, that is almost half the forces of La République du Cameroun." Listen, we do not do recruitment like normal conventional forces. So if we tell you we have 5,000 men, it means we have 5,000 men. We will not tell you whether they are well armed or they are not well armed. This is one group. Or we can tell you that maybe ADF as another group is having 5,000 men. So if you ask me, how many men do you have? Remember, these are irregular forces. So what I can tell you now is, on the ground at this particular moment, today, December 31st, we have more than 3,500 men. That is the answer I will give to you. Only for the Southern Cameroon Defense Force. Then you need to look into all the other groups that are fighting. Consider how many men and women are there who are fighting at this moment. So that is the message, the information I can give to you. Then if every one of them is armed, then you know what is going to happen.
Okay. And I have another question, but it's also a tricky question. Do you have some support, financial support, from important people or state? Because I've heard, from what I've heard, but maybe those were wrong information, your main support was the diaspora. I don't know if you use this word in English, actually, diaspora. But I was wondering if maybe you were receiving support from another state or another movement or political party. Do you have any financial support?
That one is off the record. We cannot tell you whether there is any state or individuals in a particular state or some groups or parties, political parties that are supporting us financially. But this is what I want you to understand. That the people of the Southern Cameroons who are abroad, you call the diaspora, that is people who live in foreign lands, are doing the best they could to support the war effort on the ground. It is not that they are warlike. They are finding whatever possibility it is to defend the lives of our own people and to make sure that,
what I've heard.
Yes, that a permanent positive peace, not the negative type, the negative temporal peace that has been existing in Cameroon for so many years, where it is a peace out of fear than a peace that is coming from the genuine hearts of the people of that land. So we are fighting for a permanent positive peace, and those of us abroad are doing whatever it takes legally to back what we are doing. Remember this. They are American Jews, they are French Jews, they are Russian Jews who are backing the state of Israel to fight against what they call their existential enemies. So it is our right to self-determination. It is our right to back what is happening in our homeland because we are concerned with what is going on there. There are Irish Americans who still see Ireland as home, and they still do whatever they are able to do to make sure things are okay in Ireland. So we are the ones doing it, but when it comes to whether there is any external backing or not, that is not an issue I'm ready to talk about.
Okay, I understand. So what is going to happen in the next few weeks? Supposedly in the year to come, what are the actions? Are you planning, I guess, to keep on fighting, and to what end? Do you think that an international mediation intervention could help you achieve some agreement, or do you think it has to be a military victory to end this fight? What is your goal?
There will be no military victory either from us or from La République du Cameroun. That I want to tell you that very, very clearly. You see, the United States might claim that they won in Iraq. Nobody won in Iraq. The people of Iraq and the American soldiers and the soldiers of the West that invaded Iraq, they all lost that war because they lost their humanity. Human beings were slaughtered. That is the way I see the world. There will be no military option in the situation that is affecting the Southern Cameroons. That does not mean we will not continue fighting. That does not mean La République du Cameroun, out of vain pride, will not continue to attack our people. If there is going to be a solution, it is one that is going to be across the table. There must be and there will be a negotiated settlement. But what we want to do is simple. We want the rest of the world to know that we are not responsible for this war. We want peace. But we are not fighting for a Nobel Peace Prize, where we will give everything away so that they will call us tomorrow peace architects. No. We don't want that type of situation where Yasser Arafat met with the Palestinian Prime Minister. They said that when they were giving a peace prize and the rest, and there is no peace in the Middle East at this moment. We don't want that. We want genuine peace where we can live with our neighbors in the east of the Mongo, where we can continue to intermarry, but we have to live our own way of life. Our educational system, our legal system, our judicial system, respect our own culture.
Be achieved. How could this be achieved?
We can achieve this if we sit on the table and look at ourselves in our eyes and accept that.
Who should be around the table?
There should be the representatives of the Southern Cameroons. There should be the representative of La République du Cameroun, and there should be either the United Nations or a number of third parties, maybe Sweden, Switzerland, even France wants to sit on the table. We will not refuse. The United States, South Africa, Ghana, Lesotho, any other countries that think that peace is essential commodity can sit as arbitrators.
If I get this right, negotiation is a solution, a political solution is the only solution you see, but you don't want to talk to the government of La République du Cameroun directly. You want some international people or institution to be here too.
No, the state of La République du Cameroun had contacted me, Dr. Akwanga, 5 times. They have contacted me, but it is not the political arm of the state. It is the arm of the state that is fighting us. You understand what I mean? They have contacted me and they have told me that it is important that we find a negotiated settlement. And we have opened our doors saying to them that we want to solve the problem, but we will not stop fighting. So we are ready to talk. But what we are saying is Paul Biya, who started this war and whom most of us see as an existential enemy, cannot be the same person who calls us to sit on the table and talk. It will never happen. If we want peace...
So do you want to talk to... who would you be okay to talk with?
I am ready to talk. I am ready to talk with the state of Cameroon as long as there is an interlocutor, there is a third party. There must be a genuine mediator. That is what we mean. Someone in the middle who will be there to listen to both sides and bridge our gaps. Remember, negotiation is give and take. It's give and take. They will not impose something on us. We are not imposing anything on them. We have just told them that, listen, we have reached the middle of the road. We can no longer go back this way. Things will never be the same again as they were. So how do we solve it? You sit on the other side of the table, we sit on the other side, then we have arbitrators in the middle, where they will be there to guide both sides, to listen to both sides, to see where we can agree and where we can disagree. That is what we are talking about. But what we are saying is, Biya will not call it. The time for dialogue is over. Let me make that clear. But the time for negotiation has come. Because there's a difference between dialogue and negotiation. The situation is no longer an internal issue which could be solved by Biya. It is an external issue where the rest of the world must come on board. We are ready to sit on the table, but we will sit with a third party in a third country and resolve this issue.
Okay, and yeah, I forgot that, but you are still on this line that the talks should happen in another country.
Yes, it should happen in another country because there should be an arbitrator. That is how it happens everywhere. There should be an arbitrator. Before peace was made in South Sudan, they met in Naivasha in Kenya. They even met in Abuja. So what we are saying is simple. We are ready to talk. People should not go out and say, no, we just want to keep fighting. Listen, FARC and the Colombian government fought for 50 years. I can assure you that we might not have the type of equipment that the Colombians are having. I mean, the FARC is having, because we have not put out our own equipment. But we can fight for the next 150 years. But at the end of the day, there will be a negotiated settlement. It took 50 years for FARC and the Colombians to meet. Just consider how many people must have died within that time frame. So if they want peace, let us meet now. Let there be arbitrators. People who are genuinely interested in seeing peace in that area should stop talking. They should start acting. They should call all parties on the table and let us talk about it.
Have you been contacted by international diplomats?
ICJ has spoken to me. I travel around a lot. I've talked to a number of prime ministers, heads of governments. I've talked to a number of political parties. I've talked to a number of former presidents. I'm trying to bring everybody on board, and every message I go, the message I pass everywhere I go is simple. We want a settlement of this issue. People are dying, but that does not mean we will stop fighting. So maybe international diplomats might come to us, maybe they will. The ICJ told us that diplomats have reached out to them and they are trying to find a middle way to resolve the issue. They have proposed the same issue of a negotiated settlement. We have agreed that we are ready to talk with them, but it has to be in good faith. It has to be in a third country, because even if we have to talk over video conferencing, it's not going to solve the problem. This is a very serious issue where people are dying. It does not only affect the peace of our own people, it affects the peace of that entire region. If they want to solve the problem, the world should rise up and start acting rather than talking.
I have one last question, and I'm not going to bother you furthermore, but excuse my ignorance, but maybe I would, well, maybe I'm supposed to know this, but where are your men on the ground? I'm not asking for a specific position, but well, vaguely a region, just to know that if something happened in some place, maybe I can call you to get some details. It's just for the future, So I'm trying to get this straight, and it's really difficult to have a clear idea.
I know what you are trying to find out. You are trying to find out where Sokadev forces are located, since there are other forces on ground zero. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you exactly where Sokadev forces are located, but what I want you to know is that we control a vast area of the southern region, and we are also fighting in the northern region. And one other thing I want you to know is that these are the two regions that make up the southern Cameroon.
You have people in the northwest.
Yes, we have people in the northern region. Let me assure you that the first piece of land that was liberated, that has been liberated so far, up to this moment, is the stretch of land in Furawa. Furawa was liberated by Sokadev. That is the only piece of land where you don't find the appearance of La République du Cameroon forces there, because we chased them out of there. That is the only totally free piece of land in the southern Cameroon at the moment. And Sokadev did that.
Since when?
It's been now for more than 6 months that we took over Furawa. Close to 6 months, yes. Yeah, close to 6 months, yes. We took over Furawa, and I've spoken about it in the open, asking the people to back up what we are doing. So we are all over. We don't have a specific area. We are in the northern region, what you call the northwest, and we are in a vast piece of area in the southern region. We are everywhere in the southern region. But if there are issues
in the southern region, so that's why I asked.
That what?
I asked because I thought you were only in the south.
Okay, no. The problem is that there are actually individual groups. We are based in the northern region, but there are also individual groups in the northern region that have reached out to us, telling us that no, they can no longer fight anywhere. They want to be part of Sokadev because of our rules, our regulations, our method of fighting. We've told our people we should not just fight now for freedom. While we are fighting, we should be thinking about the homeland. If we fight in such a way that it's not good enough, then when tomorrow we are a free people, we are going to have a lot of difficulties. So that is why they want to become part of Sokadev. So there are new groups trying to join Sokadev, and there are already existing Sokadevians units in the south, in the northern and southern regions.
Okay, and what do they have to be a part of Sokadev?
No, you just have to first accept to respect the 1951 Geneva Convention on Warring. We are talking muchly about that because a lot of funny things are happening. For example, we teach our boys that, listen, the moment you are fighting, if you shoot a soldier from La République du Cameroun and you are able to arrest that soldier is wounded, it is your duty to make sure that that soldier is treated humanely. It is your duty to make sure the wounds of that soldiers are catered for. It is your duty to make sure that soldier is fed. It is your duty to make sure that soldier is kept alive. We teach them those things. We let them understand that there are things you don't do. Kidnapping is not part and parcel of the game we do. Though we are like guerrilla forces, we don't do that. And that even if those type of things are happening, people should mitigate it because it doesn't speak well. Especially when we start harassing our own population. Because the first rule of any guerrilla movement is to win the masses. Let the local population be part and parcel of you. We also know that the state of La République du Cameroun has created its own fake armed groups who call themselves Amba boys too. Because most of these boys don't wear uniforms. At times it is difficult.
Yes, that there were several groups and actually tensions between you and other groups, and also just criminal groups who are who benefits from the situation and the conflict.
Of course, there is tension between the existing self-defense groups, and the tension is because if one group wants to swallow up the other rather than collaborate with the others are not willing to drop their arms. When people pick up arms, it's not easy to disarm them. You know what it means by the 3 Ds. So that one becomes very, very difficult. But the most complicated situation is the state of Cameroon is creating a situation where it might even become so difficult to have peace. What are they doing? It would have been for their own benefit to make sure that the separatist movements can speak as one mouth. Even if it is not one person, they have the same goal and carry the same principles. Then you can negotiate with them easily. But what have they done? They have promoted.
Even though there is tension, you're saying that you still pursue the same goal.
No, we are pursuing the same goal. The tension is coming as a result of one group trying to trying to swallow up the others, trying to act like we will control everything without you people.
You're talking about the ADF. You're talking about the ADF.
No, not just the ADF. There is also the most troubling group on the ground is what they call the ASC, which is under the so-called interim government, because they don't have any structure. They have a lot of problems. They don't have any structure. They have different commanders, and it is because of them that the state of La République du Cameroon has created their own fake groups, and then bandits too have become part and parcel of the struggle. They are not like fighting for independence. They are the ones who are carrying out most of the crimes on the ground. That is where the problem is.
Okay, I don't know them actually. I have no context with them.
No, you cannot know them because they are bandits. They are not groups that are specifically like under any other person. But the ASC is like what I say they call, what is the Ambazonian Security Council or whatever. Is because those in the IG who came to join the process of self-defense did not know about self-defense. They thought that they can control the political section, control the armed section. They came in and they're buying forces. They want to buy ADF forces. They want to buy Sokadev forces and put them under themselves. And that is where you find a lot of rancor and arguments on the ground. Those are some of the problems.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you. It was very nice of you to tell me all this. And you have my number, so if there is any information you want to share, well, feel free to send me a message or call me. Okay,
when you come out tomorrow, I'll be grateful if you can send a link or whatever to me.
Sure, yes, I'll do that. No problem.
Okay, at any time you want.
I'll do it.
Yes, I'll be grateful. At any time you want any information, you want to do any verification, you can reach out to me. I forgot to inform you. I just got word this morning that a UN convoy was attacked.
Today?
Yes, breaking this morning, that a UN convoy was attacked between Boya and Victoria. And they reached out to me to find out whether I know anything about it and whether there are groups around that area. I know very well that there are ASC affiliated groups linked to the interim government. And I also know that one of the leaders of the interim government made a declaration not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, asking that their forces should attack UN personnel.
Okay.
In the open. That was done by Chris Ano. He said their forces should attack UN personnel, and when I got wind that was done this morning, I was very, very angry. I am trying now, Sokadev is trying to locate which of the groups might have operated around that area so that we can get them and find out what is going on, maybe neutralize them.
Okay, so you said it was between Boya and which city?
Between Boya and Victoria.
Victoria, okay.
Yes, Victoria that many people likes to call Limbe. We call it Victoria. That's the name.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, yes, okay, I know Limbe. Why do you call it Victoria?
Because that is his original name. And it is the name we got.
I didn't know that.
No, the original name was Victoria. That was as a result of King Alfred Seker landed there. And on behalf of Queen Victoria of England, the place was named Victoria. It's Amado Ahijo that came up with changing the name to Limbe, and we said no, you can't do that because you are not going to change Avenue Charles de Gaulle to something else. Why do you want to change Victoria? So that is the type of argument we have. So we call it Victoria, not Limbe.
Okay, well that's good to know, because if I talk about it, I will have to say Limbe, but it's good to know that it's the same place.
Yes.
Do you know if anyone was wounded or killed during this attack?
No, I only heard that they don't know what projectile was used, but that the windshield of the armor car was shattered. So it was surely a very strong projectile. But what I want to say is, as the leader of Sokadev, the commander-in-chief, we are strongly condemning such activities. We have said that attacking UN forces or UN personnel or other international humanitarian bodies like Médecins Sans Frontières, WFP, the ICRC is totally out of order. Only criminals and terrorists will do that. We are separatists. We are fighting for our freedom. We will not tolerate any group, we don't care where they come from, that we go and start attacking UN personnel or UN facilities or even attacking foreign journalists. We have said as long as they come into our sphere of control, our sphere of influence with permission, it is our duty to protect them. So any individual who goes out and is doing that is going to be held accountable.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for this information. I'm going to try to get some more details. If you have some, would you mind sending me a message?
There's no problem about that.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, and well, I will definitely talk to you soon.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.